and I could be wrong here. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But the whole the echo. I hope it's not a StreamYard thing because it never happens when we're behind the scenes.
No, it's not a StreamYard thing because when I'm in the meetings, I get it.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
So I hope not, though. I don't know what's going on.
Hey,
but we're gonna power through. I don't really care what we have to do.
We're gonna have ourselves a show.
Yeah. We're gonna have ourselves a show. We got some best ball connoisseurs in chat. Ty, you're gonna have to let me know what you drafted because I got a lot of teams through and they're all drawing dead because I had Jaguars and Packers and stuff like that. So I assume you got a lot of Bears in there because that seems the only team that did anything.
Well, yeah, you got juggernauts through if there was no eliminated teams.
Yeah.
It'd be sweet if it worked like that. It's a tough game we play, man. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL Strategy Show, first look edition. And do I have good news for you guys? Do I have exciting news for you? I mean, this is very exciting. Very, very exciting stuff. Ben just adopted a child.
Wow. We did just get a dog, though.
No, you didn't. You always say that. Why don't you just do it? You keep talking about it like you want to.
I'm going to get a dog as soon as I win the Millie. So on Monday, dog is going to be in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you will be in the dog house after not winning the Millie again.
I think about that all the time. Like, I haven't won the Millie for like the 400th consecutive slate.
And that's really how it should be.
No, it shouldn't be. I should have won the Millie last night.
I mean, statistically, how many more slates would you go until you're supposed to win it?
Well, that's a problem in itself. But yeah, we can thank the Texans. Also, the playoff games, I think you could argue, got progressively worse.
I was going to say the same thing, dude. They started off amazing. Saturday, first Sunday game, Eagles game got a little bit worse. Sunday night was pretty awful. And then yesterday at halftime, I actually didn't think it was that bad. And then I got away from a second. I'm not making this up when I tell you this. I came back to watch it like 15 minutes later. I don't even remember what I was doing. It was 30-6. When I walked away, it was like 7-6.
Yeah. And you would think, well, at least this is what I thought. Like, well, at least some touchdowns. We get it going. No, it was all defense and Christian Kirk and stupid. And
Nico got knocked out of the game.
Yeah. And Nico got knocked out of the game twice. And the next play, both times, was a Christian Kirk, like 60-yard pass, just to show you where we're living here.
I actually do have good news, though. DraftKings made the main slate Saturday through Sunday.
Yeah.
From an overall DFS perspective, from a content perspective, I just so much more prefer that than you and me having to break down two separate slates and all of that. The main slate, all of the big contests are, in fact, Saturday through Sunday. So they are 4-game slates, multiple Millie makers. But more than that, like the Spy, the Power Sweep, all of the big ones are on the 4-gamer, which to me is very exciting.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Great news. I should bring back the owl. Also good news, friend of the show, I saw some of these screenshots. Demarcus Robinson was the skeleton key. If you got to him, you made some serious money, most likely, and that is what our Schindler did as well. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you I did not.
No, I wasn't even close. I had the right ideas. I just didn't have him, and I had James Cook, and he killed me on that slate.
I even bet James Cook alt receiving yards. Like when I really liked James Cook, and it was just disastrous.
I did the same thing, and I nailed it with Shakir. I
liked Shakir too.
You know, and I had it. I had Parker Washington, and then the Eagles game was as expensive as a game as you could find for me. I love the Eagles in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought A.J. Brown would have a day.
I thought McCaffrey
would have a day, but
A.J. Brown could have had a day.
Yeah, is he just done in Philly? What's the word?
I don't think he'll be back. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think he was coming back this year. I know that sounds crazy. I remember me telling you that when he had said, the Super Bowl was fun and stuff, but I want to be producing more. I genuinely think AJ Brown, and this is fine. Like I'm not even judging. I don't care, but I genuinely think AJ Brown would rather be on a team, where he could be a Malik Neighbors, right? Or give me somebody else that's really good on a bad team, not Justin Jefferson, but
Chris Olave.
like a Chris. Yeah, right, exactly. A Chris Olave type, even a Jamar
Calvin
Chase.
Ridley, if he was good.
Who?
Like Calvin Ridley in theory.
Yes, exactly. Just,
Yeah.
Feed them. Here's another good one. What should have been Garrett Wilson this year?
Yep. Tyreek. No, there's a million guys and I actually agree. He does seem like the kind of guy that just wants, and again, I'm not judging either. Like, who's the epitome of this is Myles Garrett, who chose to take a ton of money and guarantee that he's going to be on a losing team, and he's producing, and he's a monster, and he plays in no relevant games, and that's certainly a choice.
Sorry, the way you phrase that.
No, because
you're right.
Kind of pisses me off. I don't like his press conferences. That's all.
In what way?
Because he does the I had 3 sacks, but I traded all for winning. It's like, no, you wouldn't trade it all for winning because
you actually did not trade it all for winning.
Yeah, you and there's nothing wrong with that, but come on. Like, you could have went anywhere. You took all the money and you're absolutely the best player on the field, and you will never play in meaningful games because your team is garbage.
Which is wild, right? You're the best team on the field, but all of these Herculean efforts on defense ultimately are for naught. Like, they mean nothing, right?
Yep.
And that's a crazy way to think about it. But yeah, I do think AJ Brown would rather, he said as much himself in so many words. I think he'd rather be a 1,500 yard guy and 150 target guy and not make the playoffs than win the Super Bowl. And this is going to sound wild. There's a part of me that actually understands that. Like, you're out on the field, you're playing the game that you love. There's a part of me that gets that. But on the other hand, it's not like he wasn't used this year. Yes, there was a stretch where he wasn't getting a ton of targets. Dude, AJ Brown probably still ranked. I don't know where he ranked at the end of the season in targets. It was probably still top 20, right?
Yeah, he was up. I mean, certainly a healthy amount.
Let's see. He was 13th in targets. And if you don't include, Christian McCaffrey or something, and AJ Brown missed 2 games. So let's just prorate that. Let's just assume, okay, that AJ Brown played those 2 games. What do we give him? 7 in each game? I think that's fair, right? 7 in each game. He's up to 134. That would have made him 8th in targets in the entire NFL. So you can't act like he wasn't getting the football this year.
No. And listen, after you win, I get it even more personally.
Yeah.
Like,
now you want the individual accolades.
Yeah, like what, unless everyone's different, but we'll see.
Shout out to Ryan, though. I threw this up here. Did you see who chopped with him?
The man behind the scenes, Rich Green.
Yeah. Rich Green, who does NFL data, the projections at Stokastic. That's not just a Stokastic avatar. I hate sounding like ChatGPT. That's not just an avatar. That's a statement. There's these new there's this new bot out on Twitter, right? Like a bot account, which I think is great, where you just add it before you read an article or a thread, and you just say slop ? Meaning, is it AI slop? And it'll analyze it and tell you whether or not it's all AI generated. I think that's wonderful. I love AI and I use it for a lot. I've been using it to learn how to edit all of this stuff recently. I can't stand reading very clear, obvious AI garbage on Twitter. So I fully welcome that.
I'm for that too. Yeah, I mean, Twitter. I went viral on Twitter, Laffy. I pulled the U. Very shady. I don't understand anything about social media, but I'm excited. I'm excited for these games. It is as wide open of a year as it was the first game, so I think people were forgetting it. Like, people think the Rams are the best team in the league, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They were borderline dead to rights against the Panthers.
I know.
It's kind of wild. The Bills, who, again, I think they've got Josh Allen. We all know that. They're going into Mile High, and they're getting a lot of respect from the books. I don't know if you've seen these spreads.
I think they should be. Honestly,
they're out of players, though.
I'm not. This could be a major mistake. And full disclosure, I had a good week on some prop bets, and we hit the Matthew touchdown bets were good to me this week, but I did not have a good week. Excuse me, on sides. Did not have a good week
me
on
neither.
sides. I liked the Eagles. I liked the Jags. There were a bunch of spots that, and the funny thing is, like, with the Jags, that could have gone either way. That was just a crazy game. Who played Saturday night?
What do you mean? That was the craziest game of them all. But I liked the Packers in that game.
I like the Packers too. Yep.
And then just the Bears are the most miraculous team ever, literally, of all time. And
I'm telling you, man, they score 3 points through three quarters and then 28 in the fourth every single week. Matt LaFleur shouldn't be there. Like, to me, how is him? I mean, obviously Patullo, but that's for another. Like, to me, how is LaFleur not Goblin of the Week, or at least
he is,
right?
So when you get down to that level, it's impossible to win the game without help. Like, the Bears could play perfect, but you still would have to screw up to give them opportunities once you're up to that extent. And the Packers did that. The Packers got lucky they threw a screen pass to an offensive lineman who fumbled, and the Bears should have got it, and they kicked it out of bounds by mistake.
Yeah.
And they still blew the game. They missed the field goal. I mean, it was just a comedy of errors. Josh Jacobs, non-existent again. I don't understand what is going on with the Packers.
He's hurt, I think.
Well, I mean,
also, maybe I also don't think Josh Jacobs is that good. He has a nose for the end zone, but I'm not sure Josh Jacobs is elite. So
yeah, I thought at one point he was like James Cook level.
No. I mean, James Cook has the acceleration that is really, really difficult to slow down.
I'll tell you though, ETN, I mean, he's gone now, but ETN is good.
Oh yeah,
big fan of this game.
ETN's very solid, but also the Jags' run defense is really good too.
Super sick. We'll see. Fascinating games. The Texans looked fantastic last night, but also the Steelers are that. If that was the Ravens, that could have been the game of the playoffs.
What, Ravens, Texans?
Yeah.
It's a shame, man. I don't even know how much of that is to be laid at the hands of Rodgers. Danielle Hunter and Anderson were destroying him. I mean, he didn't really have he's immobile. Well, I guess you could lay it on the blame on his age, right? He can't move anymore, but they don't have any good. Yeah, they don't have anybody. And what's crazy, that defense, I credit that defense. That Steelers defense had a wonderful game. At one point, Stroud had 4 fumbles. He lost 2 of them. He got picked.
He was awful last night.
Yeah. But the Steelers, you have to credit the defense. It wasn't really their fault, was it? Like, I thought the defense played more than well enough to win that game.
Yeah, and they weren't even close to winning.
Yeah, because of the offense. Anyway.
They're just not a real team. But yeah, Let's get into it.
Yep, glad to have you guys here. If you don't mind, take a second, atone for your sins this fine morning. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Should be, I mean, well worth hanging out for this one. We take a first look. We have some fun, kind of preliminary view. But yeah, if you haven't atoned yet, hit that thumbs up. It's all free. Ben will tell you. The first time Ben said that, he's like, it's free to subscribe and hit the thumbs up, or to subscribe. we gained all these subscribers? Because I thought you're insane. People know it's free. Apparently they didn't.
People here subscribe, and I get it. They think like, oh, subscription. And of course, there's plenty of subscriptions out there, but it is free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Absolutely free. It just helps you. You won't miss content. You get what you want on your feed. So if you watch these shows, subscribing is only going to do you any good. And if you want to unsubscribe, you can do that too for free. It's very, very simple. There's nothing holding you back.
Yep. We will gladly refund your misery.
Yes.
So we've got ourselves a 4-gamer. Buffalo, Denver, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston, New England, Rams, and Chicago. Fun games. I have not looked at the spreads yet. What I'd like to do, and I thought about this last night, next year on the first look, I have a fun game for us to play. Not just us, but the chat as well. We don't look at the spreads, and we go into it blind and try and guess the spreads and see how far off we are or how spot on we are. I think that would be a good time.
Love that game. Play it. Shout out to, and I'm on a show today, by the way, if you want golf. Shout out to Pat Mayo. His Sunday night show does that, and it's a low blast, an absolute blast. You got to just guess the spread, you get points, and you keep standings. It's a lot of fun. We will do that for sure.
I'm not surprised he did that. He's got some good ideas.
Yeah, smart guy.
All right. So you've looked at the spreads. So
I have looked at the spreads.
Yeah. All right.
I would still lose the game, but that's a different problem for me.
All right. Here's my question. Is Seattle 6.5 or are they north of 7?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Let's see. Bringing them up.
I have not looked at anything, so I could just be way off. But
Seattle Seahawks are, again, your mileage is going to vary, but I see 7.5 at -110 on my screen.
That is what I was wondering. Are they 6.5 or are they north of 7? They are. That is something, man. I know George Kittle's out. I know San Francisco. The Eagles' offense is just bad, so it's really hard to proclaim that the Niners are now this unbeatable team because the Eagles just – shame on me, shame on you and everybody for thinking they could get the offense going when we haven't seen it all year. Honestly, Ben, it was just a repeat of 2023. Really was.
It was. So we're not going to talk about the Eagles anymore because we're going to get into the slate. I do want to ask you real quick, though, because you would be more locked in to me. To me, Jalen Hurts played well enough to win the game.
Yeah, he did.
Did he not?
Yeah, he did. If you go back and look at like Emmanuel Acho and Dan Orlovsky breaking it down, they just had these guys running go routes on the final drive, like every single time. It was bad. He telegraphed some really bad passes. He locked into his initial read. Bad pass on the 4th and 11. But AJ dropped
all over the place.
Yeah, AJ dropped a few. Can I tell you what bothered me the most? And I disagreed 100% with Tom Brady on this one, which people are like, how are you going to do that, dude?
He got me.
Calling the timeout on the 4th down because they weren't like, if you didn't call the timeout, you have 3 timeouts left, which means that if you force the Niners into a 3-and-out, they essentially punt from their own 5, like the punter's backed up to his 5. You potentially get the ball back at the 50 with 3 timeouts and about 35 seconds to go. You can't tell me calling the timeout there was the right decision. You just can't. You guaranteed that you can't get the ball back by calling that timeout.
Yeah, I think, again, maybe I don't know, but to me, teams vastly overrate chance of success if you have some time to talk about it. Just do it. I understand it's not that simple and there's play clock and whatnot, but I'm with you. The equity of getting a half a possession, it's not a full possession, you have no timeouts, it's incredible. Like, I would argue there are times where teams take timeout to avoid 5-yard penalties, and they should not. You should just eat delay of game a lot.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You have to, if you can get the ball back with 30 seconds, probably around the 50, you can't tell me that's not valuable. It is.
It's incredibly valuable. And
they guaranteed a loss if they didn't convert. And also, you know what made it worse? The play call was so bad that you're like, why would you call that timeout to begin with?
Yeah, just to do that.
Anyway, Buffalo and Denver you said they're getting are the Bills aren't favored, are they?
1-point favorite.
Wow. Really?
I don't get that.
So basically, the books have Denver and the Jags as the same team then.
Yeah, I don't understand that though. And I'm not a big Denver backer, but like off a bye at home, the Bills are in the Niners category for me almost. They're losing like I know Gabe Davis isn't a game changer, but he was out there. He is gone. Obviously, Palmer is hurt. Johnson is hurt. And Ty Johnson's hurt in the backfield. The defense, they lost another safety. Denver's no joke. I don't think Denver's the best 1 seed I've ever seen. But man, I was surprised. I thought it'd be like 2.5, 3-point Denver favorite.
2.5 would have made sense. I would not have put them past a field goal, but 2.5.
No, I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, that would have made sense. Houston and New England. Okay. This has got to be close. Houston's defense is just dominant, man. But I'd still go Patriots, I don't know, -2?
Great.
-3? They are, huh?
It feels about right.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm seeing a couple 2.5s to 3. Yeah. 3 is like -102, 2.5s -120. All right, so I'm not far off. And then Bears and Rams. Rams -1?
3.5.
Damn. See, that one to me, I'm not sure I agree with that. I see a 4.5 out there on the Ram.
Yeah, you're going to see different. Chad just pointed out Bills are dogs in some places. You're going to see these lines bouncing around for sure.
Yeah, like on DraftKings, Bills are dogs, but it's +1.5 -123. So,
yeah,
I mean, you're looking at pretty close to a pick 'em here, honestly. He's right. He's right though. Bill, it really depends. Man, what do you think about the Rams being 4.5-point favorites?
I mean, yeah, I get it because it's like they're a super talented team playing a team that is. I genuinely don't know how good the Bears are, but at some point, it's just like when teams keep blowing games. At some point, there's something to it, like.
Yeah,
it becomes more than just variance or luck. There's obviously a ton of that, but the Bears have something that they don't panic, and they obviously maximize their chances when they get them. So,
also Ben Johnson's just a good coach. I think we're learning that pretty quickly.
Ben Johnson knows what he's doing clearly.
Not just from their success, but from the lack of success in Detroit. When you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs and Montgomery and half a season of Laporta, but Jamison Williams and all of these talented players, and your offense falls off a cliff, everything it all points in one direction, right?
Yeah. Also a good point. It could be freezing in Chicago, like
18
crazy
degrees.
cold.
18 degrees, chance of snow, double-digit winds.
Yeah, so that could be a problem. And a lot of Josh Allen love. Josh Allen, like many people, is my favorite player. I love him, but this is not basketball. That's my biggest thing. Like you can't single-handedly do it in football. They're gonna have to figure some stuff out.
Against Denver, you certainly are.
That's not sustainable. Like it's not. I don't know, but
it does feel like this. The Cinderella story, though, this year for Buffalo. I think that's what people are thinking, right? There's no Mahomes this year. There's no Lamar. There's no Burrow. There's none of those guys. It's Josh Allen and a bunch of new faces. Like I know Bo Nix was in last year, but that team they were very unserious. Buffalo destroyed them, if you remember, last year. Buffalo. You have New England. Houston, again, this isn't to say Houston hasn't made the playoffs. They have, but they're a far more talented team this year. Like they're a real threat. Would you take Denver?
I mean, I'm not running to the window to bet them. Not that this would preclude me from taking Denver. I'm rooting for Buffalo. If I had to bet the game, though, I actually think if you told me I had to bet it right now, what would I bet? I would bet Denver on an alt line because I think there's very real equity that Buffalo gets crushed.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see how, even if you like Buffalo in the game, I don't know how you don't acknowledge that. If Josh Allen is unable to be Superman, they're outgunned everywhere else.
Yeah, and that dude took a beating. I mean, a beating last game. I saw somebody in chat. I think it was Ryan saying, I thought Allen was going to have to be wheelchaired out of that game. He took a beating, man. Absolutely. John, Josh Allen never gets blown out. He got blown out by the Dolphins this year.
I mean, yeah, that's not of course he can get blown out. They can get blown out. He's a great player, obviously. And I think they're going to hold their own. I'm not saying it, but to me, if they don't have an answer and Denver leans on the defense and it comes to fruition and Denver looks like the 1 seed, I think it could go very bad very quickly.
Yeah, I could see that being the case as well. Let's get into it.
Last thing, and we'll get into it. We're one drive away from starting the show saying the Bills once again are out. Are they ever going to do it? Like they just won a coin flip game in Jacksonville.
True coin flip game. How many lead changes were there in that? That was a coin flip.
Yeah.
Although it was a great defensive play, get the interception, get pressure. They stood up when they needed to. I mean, they did end that game, right? They ended that game with an interception.
Yeah. And they ended it. Josh Allen said, I'll handle this like a true absolute boss.
Yep.
But I don't think that's the most sustainable thing. And on this slate, it really dovetails into what we're about to talk about here. Josh Allen certainly going to try to take it upon himself, but this is another brutal matchup. Denver's defense, I don't care if you don't like them. There are easier spots to attack than Denver's defense in Mile High.
I agree. I will say, though, I'm not sure how much better Denver's defense is than Jacksonville's.
No.
I think they're very similar teams.
Go ahead. I'm just sorry. I'm overrating the Bills just played an absolute slugfest. They lost multiple players and Denver is sitting around.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
It gets even harder to replicate that type of style back-to-back weeks when the other team didn't play.
I get it. He also had Jacksonville come into Denver and handily beat them. Handily beat the Denver Broncos only like a month ago. So I'm not sleeping on Allen here just because it's Josh Allen in the postseason. And I know you're not saying that you are. I totally get that. But man, it's a tough. All of these are tough spots. I mean, let's go a step further here. Drake May at home against the Chargers was not exactly dominant. He completed fewer than 60% of his passes. He fumbled twice, lost one, got picked off. Yes, it's a good Chargers defense, but Houston's defense is a juggernaut, man. Like Jalen Peacher's got that Guardian cap on. The people who need that are the guys that he's hitting. He just destroys people out there. And their defensive line, man, your two edge rushers. There was a spin move that Danielle Hunter put on one of the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive linemen yesterday. It looked like he was fighting a ghost. The lineman. It looked like he was trying to guard a ghost. These guys are dominant. I said this early on in the season, and I will stick with it, right? This is the one team that I could see winning a Super Bowl because of the defense. That's how good I think the defense is.
Yeah, they have a different formula. And it is. I agree with what Chad's saying when we talk about running backs. James Cook is going to have to really be a factor. There's no way if they can't get the running game going. But you look at it, none of these are going to be easy matchups. Stafford's going into the cold. Honestly, I know he's not the best quarterback. He has moments. Caleb, again, they get in these crazy game scripts. And we've something that we always fight with people on the Sunday show where they're like, why are you playing this guy? He's no good. You don't have to be the best quarterback to be the best scoring quarterback. You need to just be in the best game, and you need to have the opportunities. I'm not saying he's going to throw it 50 times again, but I'm not saying he's not going to be trailing throughout. If we get normal weather, I will go to Caleb once again because the guy seemingly only plays in the craziest game scripts.
I'll go to Caleb regardless of weather, assuming it's not insane wind. But if it's just cold,
I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just cold, I don't care. I couldn't agree more with you. Caleb just is one of these guys. So yeah, it's the first 3 quarters. You're like, man, what a terrible decision that was. But you look at him, he's putting up numbers. He is producing. There's also a lot of very good defenses. This is not just shootout mentality style of play. Like Seattle against San Francisco held them to 3 points last time they played. Seattle's defense is very good. Denver's defense is very good. Buffalo's secondary is still very good. Houston's defense is fantastic. The Patriots defense just held the Chargers to 3, and Nico Collins may not play in this game. There are some really, really good defenses. The only two, Rams and Chicago, I kind of look at both of these teams and say there's some weaknesses here. And we saw that with the Rams, did we not? The Rams defense, they're not bad. Like, sure, I guess you could say it's a playoff defense, but you look at recently, they have not been great. 38 against Seattle, 34 against Detroit, 27 against Kirk Cousins and the Falcons in a meaningless game for them, 20 against Jacoby Brissett, 31 against the Panthers. They almost lost to the Panthers as 10.5-point favorites. They gave up 31 to the Panthers. Of course, one was on a pick 6, but still, this team is giving up a lot of production. And you just even just look at, by the way, on the First Look show, we don't dig into too many advanced stats here. Save that for later in the week. But you just look at the yards that they've allowed in these games. There are some real weaknesses in this Rams defense, some real weaknesses.
And you have to take the complexity of the slate. Like the Rams defense on its own stands up fine, but rank the defenses. There are multiple easy layups of better defenses out there. Like, I don't think this is a hot take, by the way. I love Houston's defense. Seattle's defense, I think, might be the best defense in the league. Seattle's defense is also unstoppable.
They're insanely good. I would still put Houston ahead of them, but Seattle's is very good. Yeah, and Denver's defense is also good. Again, these teams, almost every one of the teams we're talking about on this slate. Chris, does anyone know if Houston's first team defense was out there against the Colts week 18? I think they were. It's also, one game. And the truth, here's the truth about that, Chris. I don't read into that much because there is a mentality going into some of these games. And the mentality there was that the Jacksonville Jaguars absolutely destroyed, who was it? The Titans?
Yeah.
They needed the Jags to lose for that game to matter, which is why Nico didn't play to begin with. So maybe your first team defense is out there, but is your first team defense playing like the same first team defense that's in the postseason? I would think no. So
there's also just as we get into this slate, because I think this is more important than talking about 8 teams where almost all their good players are playable. There's going to be natural overreactions to think that game scripts hold. I want to stress that. That's an advantage people have. Like, I think the Patriots are a great example of this. That game, I feel very confident in saying that the Patriots realized pretty quickly if they didn't screw it up, they were going to win. Hampton was hurt. Herbert had no time. So Drake May, he made one really good throw, but he mostly didn't do anything. If they're you're going to see game scripts flip based on what's going on, and it's going to be week to week. Like the Rams, they were playing from behind in a game that everyone, I thought that Kyron and Corum would just be a 1-2 punch the entire game. So you can play that game of like, maybe the Rams win from start to finish, or maybe somehow Caleb's passing volume is actually controlled for a change. It's not always a carbon copy of what we just saw.
Exactly. Justin Herbert faced a 57% pressure rate in that game. 57% pressure rate. 74 yards passing under pressure. 5 yards per attempt. Terrible. But that backs up your point. That just don't make the mistakes and you'll win this game, because the Chargers offense can't do anything at all. Absolutely nothing. Brock Purdy was under pressure a ton. So was Bryce Young. Purdy out. Young out. Herbert out. It's actually very interesting that The five quarterbacks who face the most pressure in the wild card round, they're all out. They're all out. Drake May was kept pretty clean. So was Jordan Love. He's out. But CJ Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Hurts had the lowest pressure rate. That's the other thing. Lowest pressure rate was 2 for 8 under pressure. Just terrible. If I had to ask you this question, who are the quarterbacks that you would not want to play this week? And if the answer is none of them, if your answer is no, I'd be okay getting to any of these guys, even if, lesser capacity, that's fine too. But are there any quarterbacks you don't want to get to?
Purdy, number one. There's just no chance. I don't say no chance, but there's minimal chance that I'd play him because
I agree.
Drake May has a brutal matchup, but if he's super low owned, I'll take some shots. It's just I really do respect Houston, and I would like to avoid that if possible. But the only person on the list that I think is Purdy in Seattle with no Kittle, it's as bad of a situation as you're going to have to me.
I agree. And chat corrected me. You're right. Brock Purdy, second highest pressure rate, is not out. The other four.
He'll be out momentarily.
The other. Do you like Seattle?
So badly.
Would you lay 7 on Seattle?
I might use them, and I don't really bet a lot of teasers, but that's a perfect teaser piece because I feel really confident Seattle's going to win.
I guess the question is, can you tease anybody else? Are there any other good teaser spots? You could tease. That'd be tough.
Maybe
because I know you're not gonna tease the Broncos.
I might tease Houston
down. Or you're not gonna tease the Bills down.
No, it would be Houston probably.
Yeah. Yeah, Houston would probably be the one. Honestly, to me, it would be the Bears. If you 6-point tease it and you get the Bears
10.5
outside of 10, with the way that they've competed in every single game they play, I think the Bears would look like a good teaser play.
Yeah, that's fine too. And like I said, I'm rooting for San Francisco, but and I said this last week, but at some point, personnel, this team is just out of bodies, and they've been out of bodies, and they keep answering the call. But Seattle, I really, really worry about how San Francisco is going to be able to move the ball. And it's not to take away what they did, but their big play was Juwan Jennings throwing a strike to Christian McCaffrey.
That's very true. And then the McCaffrey touchdown where there was a hold. But
it's just, I don't know. I would love to see it. I hope they keep the run going. I really worry. I also think their best chance of victory is not Purdy having a big game.
It's what? McCaffrey?
Just slow it, grind it out, lean on McCaffrey. Honestly, kind of what they did to the Eagles in some ways. A couple of big plays. This is a slate with, Josh Allen, Stafford, the best of the best. Purdy could be very effective against an elite defense and still not be the quarterback that you want.
Jeff, are we really trusting Sam Darnold, not a typo? I see what you did there. Trust is a strong word, but yeah, I'd probably get to some Sam Darnold against this San Francisco team. I'm not buying into that secondary. I think it was the play calling in Philadelphia was atrocious. And again, let me point this out to you guys one more time. Jalen Hurts faced a 24% pressure rate. That's 7% lower than any other quarterback on the slate. They protected him, and he just didn't make the plays, and the play calls were garbage. I don't think you'll see the same thing with Sam Darnold in a spot like this, or Sam Darnold, call him what you will. I think Sam Darnold at that price point is extremely, extremely viable. Jake, this is better than Loughran Center. Are you familiar with this? And by the way, Jake, you may need to go to the Loughran Center because it's THAN. You're not familiar with the Somali-run Loughran Center in Minnesota?
No,
We'll have to brush you up on that.
Yeah, right after the show. I'm sure
Yeah,
I'll
right.
hear
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
I'll give you a crash course. I don't
Thank
really want to
you.
play CJ Stroud though.
I don't particularly either, but if you told me I wanted to play a low-owned quarterback, I would play CJ Stroud over Purdy almost every time.
Would you?
Yes.
I'm opposite of that. I'm the opposite on that. I would rather go Brock Purdy
I
over
am extremely dug in that there's minimal chance that San Francisco can move the ball effectively.
I think it also, to me, depends on whether or not Nico Collins is healthy for me. If Nico Collins is healthy, that makes a difference.
Sure.
Stroud and Purdy would be the bottom. The Sam Darnold price point to me is highly appealing. Bo Nix against Buffalo. I'll be honest, I don't love that. I'll naturally get there, but to me, the two guys that I like the most, if it's two quarterbacks on this slate that I like the most, it's Allen and Caleb Williams, followed by Stafford and May.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Darnold thing is tricky because I actually think in the right game script he could be very effective, but I worry that they're going to take a New England stance from last week, where it's going to become apparent pretty quickly if Darnold has no touchdowns and no turnovers that they win the game like 90% of the time.
I could see that being the case. I
You
don't
know,
mind
just
Darnold,
don't.
actually. I actually I mentioned that. You have 8 quarterbacks. The 2 that I don't love are Stroud and Purdy. The 2 that I'll get to but don't love, but I will get to, Nix and May. And then Allen, Stafford, Williams, Darnold. All those are up there for me. Allen, Stafford, May, Williams, and Darnold. Those would be the 5 that I think I'd get the most of if the slate started today.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those would be the 2 that I'd get the most of. Talk about the running back position. You've got James Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift. Woody Marks with a nice game, huh?
He
Putting
gets
up a
hurt
buck.
every game though.
I know. And he took one shot on a hospital ball from CJ Stroud. I didn't think he was getting back up. I really didn't think that he was going to get back up. Peyton Wilson came in and just destroyed him. And he got up. Ramondre Stevenson had another decent game, right? 75 receiving yards. This guy just has these crazy, crazy plays as a pass catcher. Kyron Williams, we talk about what's the breakdown look like. Well, Blake Corum had another 13 touches in that game. Kyron Williams had 15. The price discrepancy here, it's getting closer, but I still don't know if it's close enough given that they get the same goal line work every single week in the event that they get down there. Is Kyron deservedly $1,500 more than Corum today or this week?
It's been a fascinating situation with the Rams, and even in New England. I think the more telling thing for me with New England wasn't Stevenson, it was Henderson. Like,
Big time.
I like Travion a lot in that game, and he really didn't have.
He did nothing. 10 touches.
Yeah. So it's going to be, again, we're talking 4 games. You can still take shots, but you know the floor is very unsecure with him. And then we get another Walker Charbonnet coming into the slate is very similar in that they're a legit 2-headed monster.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'd call it a monster, but I guess you could. They've been
Kenneth
better
Walker's
lately.
been bet. He really has. I'm a big Kenneth Walker fan.
So am I. Kenneth Walker's good. It's just I'm somewhat a believer in that you have to get into a rhythm thing, and I feel like he has never given an opportunity to get into a rhythm ever, and that sucks. But I would get to some Walker at 5,500. The thing though is Charbonnet. Again, last game, Charbonnet had 21 opportunities. Mind you, this was an important game against San Francisco. This was not a throwaway Week 18 game. This was for the 1 seed. And Walker had 20. They're splitting. So what's the difference here between Corum and Williams and Charbonnet and Walker? I'll tell you right now, it's touchdowns. The touchdowns make all of the difference between these guys. If you were to take all of their stats and remove the touchdowns, how dissimilar are any of them?
Yeah. And the other dissimilarity is the quarterback, because I promise you, if you said to the Seahawks, what is the most important thing that you want Sam Darnold to do? They would say, don't turn it over. If you ask the Rams that question, they would say to have Stafford win get it done for us. 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. They're not looking for that. So it's different because for Seattle, they might have 40 opportunities between the two. For the Rams, they'll have opportunities, but Stafford still at the end of the game might have the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and probably will. And they don't pass to the running backs a ton. But again, the difference last week between Kyren and Corum was the receiving touchdown for Kyren Williams. It's the only real difference, right? One of them had 8, the other had 15.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Rushing props, 79.5 for Cook, 48.5 for Harvey. I tell you what, if that pops up across the board at 48, because I can't bet on BetMGM.
That's an over.
That feels like an over, doesn't it? For Harvey?
I've been on Harvey all year, and he's good. And the Bills' defense is suspicious to me.
Etienne and Tootin both had some big plays against that defense last week on the ground too.
And they're more hurt. Like I said, did they lose you lose Josh Allen, the season's over. But besides him, they're just losing people. Just people. Like safety here, a guy here, a wide they are losing personnel quickly.
It's crazy that McCaffrey's rushing prop is 55.5. It's the same as Kenneth Walker. It's lower than Kenneth Walker on DraftKings.
But his receiving prop is probably like 50 as well. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah, it's probably what, 40, 43?
Something like that.
51. This is nuts because it's 43 on BetMGM and 51 on DraftKings. Go ahead and middle that one, Ben.
I'm about 0 for my last 600 middles, but I'm closer to losing both somehow and breaking the universe. Like I get into a black hole and somehow middling it.
Kyron's at 63.5, Corum's at 46.5. That I just don't really understand. They're splitting the backfield work on the ground.
Yeah. I don't know. That's always there are a fluid situation with all these teams. Like most good teams, they carry multiple backs. Obviously San Francisco's a little unique, but the rest of them, I think you could even Swift and the Nunn guy, like it's not nothing.
I know. And look at Henderson and Stevenson. They have identical rushing props on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's a tough spot.
So, all right, but I guess what I'm getting to here is you have multiple timeshares, right? You have the timeshare in LA. You have a timeshare in Seattle. You have a timeshare in New England. Denver, you don't have a timeshare, but RJ Harvey hasn't exactly just been getting all of the work. You know, they still do some weird stuff in that backfield, but I do like the opportunities there for him, especially if he continues to get targeted a lot. As you pointed out, Monangai still gets opportunities, still 11 opportunities in that last game. In the playoffs, only 15 for Swift. So you're talking what, like a 60-40 split most games? How do you go about this? I know it's kind of just a question that's really tough to answer right now, but how do you go about something like this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously later in the week, ownership splits will tell the tale. I will certainly try to pay up for at least one of the big, I'm calling them the big two here, which is McCaffrey and James Cook. They're going to get all the work. They're in good spots for James Cook. McCaffrey supersedes bad spots. It doesn't really matter to me. And then I will just take some spots on, it's going to be if statements. I like to play this game. If I get it right, what does that look like? That's the key. Because if you tell me, all right, if this happens and this happens and this happens, it's like, yeah, okay, what's the result? Because if the result, the guy has 15 carries and low touchdown equity, I'm not jumping through 4 hoops to get that. If you tell me he has 3 touchdown upside, if you get it all right, I could live with low probability of success, high upside. And then the last thing I want to point out, Drake May led New England in rushing. last week, not Stevenson, and certainly not Henderson. I don't think it's crazy to think that that could happen again. And Bo Nix could easily factor into that backfield as well. So you got to remember in the playoffs, the quarterbacks are outside CJ Stroud, who just simply does not care to win me any money rushing.
I know. He had 1 for 0.
He had multiple like free 15-yard things, and he instead just ran to nobody and then fumbled. So, but yeah, like that's what you're competing with too. That's a lot of yards that Drake May is going to eat up.
That's actually a really good point too. I mean, I don't know how well he's going to be able to run against Houston, but he's going to try.
He's certainly going to try though. Yeah.
So then who do you think of these timeshare guys has that touchdown equity? And also, like, is McCaffrey in this matchup still a lock for you?
No, he's certainly not a lock. Because of James Cook and just the way we have elite, it was broken up last week. Nakua, most people, unless you played the 6-gamer, like Nakua was isolated from the Sunday wide receivers. Now we have to deal with him. It's not anything like that. NJSN is here. I think of the timeshare backs for me, it's Seattle, because I think Seattle has the easiest path to having 3 or 4 touchdowns to go around. It's hard when you don't know how many touchdowns you're going to get. The Rams guys too. I think there's a real chance the Rams look much better here. But those two teams, yes, against the Chargers, Drake led in rushing. That's true. So yeah,
Harvey might just be chalk.
Yeah, I think he will be.
It kind of feels like Kyron's the odd man out.
I agree with that too, but if he gets squeezed, I'll play some Kyron. He has 3 touchdown upside.
I would absolutely play Kyron Williams if he gets squeezed, right? If McCaffrey, Cook, and Harvey are all, far more popular, maybe Marks gets steamed. First 100-yard game for him of his career is in the playoffs. 19 carries. I could see that being the case where his ownership comes up a little bit. Chubb, by the way, did have 10. So keep that in mind when you consider that this game script may be a little bit different than the last one. It's tough. Another guy, I'll tell you right now, if Walker's ownership is low because of some of these other guys, I'll begrudgingly go back to the well with Kenneth Walker. I know it's been gross, and I know his best game came in a showdown slate where people were already playing him because they had to. But I still just think, and you said the same thing earlier, I still just think Kenneth Walker is good enough to where he actually does have 2 breakaway touchdown upside in this game. Saquon Barkley almost broke 3 or 4 long touchdowns on Sunday. Kenneth Walker can do it.
Yeah, it's there. And I think Anderson won't be owned. No, he's not going to be. And he's someone, it's going to have to be low ownership, but I still think, like, there was a play, I don't know how intently you watched the game, where New England was up against their own goal line and Stevenson broke one. He got caught. If that's Travion, we're talking about a 95-yard touchdown. Yep. And the whole slate is different.
Yep.
So, he'll still have some opportunities, but it's hard to know that your floor is legitimately like 2.
I know. It makes it difficult. All right, let's talk about wide receivers here. Oh, and I did want to point out, Ben, you're probably the perfect person for me to mention this to. So, you know how if you sign up with Stokastic, you get the Sims for free, right? We all know that.
I do know that.
All right. So, with that in mind, every single sportsbook, every partner, any DFS pick'em site, any sweepstakes book like Onyx, right, that's available in 40+ states, with the link in the description where you sign up with our sportsbook partners, all of those equal an additional free month of the Sims. Now, many of them, like Onyx, you spend $10 when you sign up by clicking the link, you get $100 in Onyx cash. Sleeper, you play $5, you get 55. That's how these offers work. That's how these sign-up bonuses work, right? Like, they incentivize you to get in and you collect that, which is already out of the gate super beneficial. On top of each one of those, say you spend $15 between the two, now you have 2 months of the Sims for any sport you want. That's upwards of a $300 value where you would have otherwise paid that out of pocket, not here. And you can continue to do it until you've run out of books or pick'em or sweepstakes sites to sign up on. I say this to you and the viewers, not just because it's the most no-brainer opportunity and no other sites offer this, but because PGA is returning.
Oh yeah. Doing my first PGA show today. And the thing about PGA, when it returns for, like, there's just golf now forever. And you're going to get the showdown slates. They're not, $1 million up top, but there's also a lot more casuals than you would think, because people are just looking for something to do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and stuff. And they're like, oh, golf is starting on Thursday. Let me hop in because I don't have Thursday night football. And so if you're unfamiliar with playing DFS golf, I always say the best way to get involved is with no lift. Use one of your free months on golf and try it out. And if you don't like it, it was a free month of the tools. Why not use it that way instead of saying, am I really going to pay for a sport that I've never played really before? Like, that's a tougher sell. I totally respect that. So if you have a couple extra months up for grabs, you've got basketball covered, football's winding down, use a free month on golf for us. And it's the same technology, the same tools that you've been using all year, just applied to a new sport. I'm biased, but I think DFS golf is the best sweat because you get 4 days of action. It's so fun.
Not just that, though. With the massive showdown contest they have now, it truly is a 4-day event where you can get in every single day in new big contests.
No doubt about it.
So you take Onyx here, you click that, because you got to click it. We can't track otherwise. Sign up, deposit, place a bet. Then after that settles, just take a screenshot of your welcome email for any of these and your first settled bet. Email us, support@stokastic.com. Ron's awesome at taking care of people, getting it handled quick. With those screenshots, just tell us what you want. So you sign up on Onyx and Sleeper. All right, boom. There you go. Send those over. Say, hey, can I get a month of NFL and a month of PGA? Can I get a month of NBA and a month of PGA? Fanatics is another one. Great sign-up offer. BetMGM, same thing. All of that. So take advantage while you can. Link in the description. You know where to find it. Wide receivers. Look at the top here. You have Nakua and Smith and Jigba. After that, if Collins doesn't play, and he might, they'll probably try and get him out there. They might, finagle the rules like they did during COVID, which they no doubt did. I remember saying going into the postseason that year, there's no way any notable player is going to. It's true. It's not conspiratorial. It's true. I said there's no way any notable player is going to be held out in COVID protocol. And you know how many were? None. Not a single player. Yet it happened all year. And when were the playoffs? Oh, January, February. Come on now.
I mean, the concussions. Everyone's passing those tests. Parker Washington passed that test. So we'll say. But yeah.
What I'm getting at, though, is look at the drop-off. Nakua, Smith,
Put it up on the screen for me, if you can.
Yep. And let's just assume for a second that Collins is out. Steep drop-off. Really, really steep drop-off. You get down to $6,500 Devontae Adams, $5,900 Sutton, who I think is actually pretty nice at that price point. Diggs, who is just – you never know what you're going to get from Stephon Diggs. He was completely irrelevant in this game against the Chargers. I said the same on Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to play some, but this is who Stephon Diggs is. And then guys like Juwan Jennings, where you say, all right, well, yes, Juwan Jennings should see an elevated workload. He had to go up against a lot of Quinyon Mitchell, who's outstanding. He had 1 reception on 3 targets. I mean, at this point, it's by design. He did throw a touchdown as well, by the way. That's why he had 10.5 fantasy points. Rome Odunze, why even bother with Rome Odunze at this point? So, yeah, dude, it's tough.
Very difficult. Obviously, you mentioned the big 2, but after that, it's wide open and some tough matchups in there. We talked about quarterbacks, the stack attachments. A lot of it will dictate that. I don't have a great priority list. I worry about Jennings can't catch a break. You go from Mitchell to the Seattle secondary, like good luck with that. Diggs, you go from a game with a terrible game script to Stingley. Good luck with that. Brutal. Obviously, to me, Devontae Adams is just kind of sitting there.
Yeah,
Um,
that price on Devontae now looks extremely good. He had 13 targets last game. You realize that?
that's what I mean. It
13
it was
targets.
there without being there.
Yeah, he didn't do a ton, but that might be, he honestly might be the best priced receiver on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are going to chase Shakir, and I'm fine with that. But the time to play him was last week. It was the exact game that I envisioned for him,
Me
honestly. And
too.
I didn't really get paid off, which was a little frustrating. But and then the Bears receivers, I think you're going to have to take some shots on the Luther Burdens, the DJ Moores of the world, and just hope that you get all of them are going to have the 4 to 8 targets. Clearly, I don't know what the Bears were doing with Loveland because apparently he's like the best tight end in the league, and they didn't discover that till like week 15. Like the guy was barely playing.
I know. Yeah, it was all Cole Kmet. It's
I
it's
don't.
ugly down here though, because then if you go to Seattle outside of JSN, it's Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed.
There's a slate breaker.
It's Christian Kirk. It's Brandon Cooks, right? Pat Bryant, Kyle Williams. What are we supposed
Where's
to do with a lot
Sutton?
of these guys? Jalen Knoll, Keon Coleman, who actually almost broke a touchdown last game.
He's going to be involved by default. They don't have any other receivers.
I know. Mims, Olamide Zacchaeus, Demario Douglas. This is what we're dealing with here.
Very bad. But to Einsteinium's point in chat, you're going to have to roll the dice on some of these guys if you want to go get a big two, or you want, Allen and Cook, McCaffrey, something like that. You're going to have to punt there. You can double tight end it up, obviously, because tight end is very affordable, but it's not super appealing. It's going to have to be stack attachments for me on most of these guys.
Building this out now. Caleb
Do
Loveland, Moore, and
we do
Adam.
soccer? We don't. Sorry, we don't do soccer, but I bet a ton of soccer over on Tails. So if you do you bet a little Bundesliga today, stop on by the Tails side. Plenty of soccer over there.
Yeah, it's free. We
It's
talked
great.
earlier.
Afternoon sweat.
Yeah. We opened the show about something being free. Oh, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tails is free, and you're getting all of those bets, and all the DFS content, and like all of Josh's amazing simulation runs and analytics that's just posted for free. There's some great VIP subscriptions out there, and I'd recommend using the leaderboard to unearth some real gems, because there are some that I've been tailing as well, like in the NHL streets and stuff. But yeah, man, if you're not over there, that's the place to be. It is the place to be for sure. Check the profit, the heater, the trending, all of this stuff out. These people will you're gonna find some pretty good people, like a lot of really good people over there, man. It's just the way it is. So make sure to do it. Check it out. It's free. That's it. I love it. I really do.
It's amazing. I do these shows and stuff, and then I get off, and I'm like, oh, I have a boost. Oh shit, I have this. I don't have time to break the whole thing down. I have my own bets. I go to Tails, I type in what I want, and I get 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 bets that fit what I'm looking for. I say, oh, this guy's on a heater. He's been on the leaderboard for the last 2 weeks. Boom. And if you like what you see, you give him a free follow, and now you've got another way to get quality bets going forward. It's literally that simple.
Yep. So I can't make this work. How do I make this work? Can you see this on the screen? How do I make this work?
All right. So we've got a Caleb +2. We've got Adams coming back. We've got JSN. We've got Harvey and Cook. Seattle's defense. Let's see. How do we make
dropping Cook to like a Kenneth Walker could make sense.
that? That'll do it for sure. Then we'll have 33 left.
I could always bring DJ Moore down to Luther Burden. I could bring the Seahawks D down.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be one of those. I mean, what does defense look like?
Not great, honestly. Like Niners against Seattle, Bears against the Rams doesn't seem crazy, but
In this,
Buffalo against Denver, I don't hate.
no. If you killed James Cook in the lineup, I would definitely roll Denver's defense, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, just because
that's a
to
great point.
me,
Yeah, gives us 37.
yeah, there's got to be people. You
Parkinson's
could go,
not crazy there because you're not going.
no.
Well, Parkinson, I don't hate because you're not going with Puka in this lineup.
Yep, double leverage against him. You'll have, yeah, this is where you're just going to take flyers. You could take certainly Cup. I wouldn't really look to do that, but you could take Coleman, Hutchinson if Nico sits.
You know what else you could do if Nico sits? Watch this.
What, Kirk?
Well, I'd have to go from DJ Moore down to Luther Burden, but then you have 4,200, and
Yeah,
I
to
could
Kirk.
go 2 tight end with Dalton Schultz.
Or that's nice too.
Schultz was non-existent last game, but and Kirk was fantastic. I don't know if I'm buying into that. I like Schultz there a little bit more. That lineup looks pretty good. Now, here's the thing. Let's not ignore it. You wouldn't be playing Nakua, McCaffrey, Cook. That's a needle you got to thread for sure, but I don't think it's insane either because you're getting the Adams leverage off of Nakua, and you still have JSN, who, in my opinion, has equally as good of a matchup. You're not getting the McCaffrey, really tough spot. And James Cook, he does have a low floor. We've learned that James Cook does have a low floor in a tough matchup. If this plays out the way you suggested and Denver just dominates, you have Harvey with Denver D plus Kenneth Walker and JSN. I actually like a build like this.
Yeah, and listen, you have to just this will hopefully make you sleep a little better at night. No matter what lineup you build, there's one or two superstars that you're not going to have in it. Like if you just look at, oh, I don't have Cook and Puka, like okay, you want them in there, you're not going to have JSN. You can't get all of them in there. So just keep that in mind. That's just the way it is. Yeah, Tom I don't know. I honestly don't know how much I want to play him in general.
I mean, they were using Kyle Juszczyk basically last game as that. I don't love Tonjes here. Is he fine at 3,400? Yeah. I do think that Loveland is still the best tight end on the slate, even at 5,500.
I agree, honestly. It's a pretty wide open range. Just the way the playoffs fell, we don't have, and now Kittle's hurt. We just don't have those elite tight ends. Bowers, McBride, these guys just didn't make it, obviously.
I'll show you what else you can do. And I don't think this is nuts at all. You could go Seattle onslaught here. Do something like that. Darnold, Harvey, Walker.
People will do that, but I kind of like that build.
I don't hate it at all. I think, I don't know how many people are going to want to plug Walker in there as well, but I think that's a pretty viable build. And if you didn't want to do that, you could go with James Cook here. Of course, you probably take the Broncos out, but you're still going to have options down there at 4,200. Christian Kirk now, because you don't have Schultz. Tight end to me is kind of just an opportunity thing. If I'm stacking Darnold, do I get more Barner? Probably. Do I get more Henry with Drake May? Yeah, I think so. Do I get Parkinson in some of those Stafford stacks? Yeah. That's kind of the way I look at this.
Yeah, I mean, there are no tight ends that I think have reliable. Loveland, I guess, a little that have reliable target share.
I mean, double-digit targets in 3 straight. I'm not saying it's sustainable, but Caleb clearly prefers him. He absolutely prefers him. The dude he's sick. He's really good. Their connection has only gotten stronger over the latter stages of the season, and you're seeing that now. The Rams defense also that secondary really is not that stout.
Oh no, he's going to have opportunities. It's just a matter of, again, target share is not as good as his targets right now.
No.
Still good, but it's not, when you throw it 50 times, a lot of people get a lot of looks.
Yep. But he still got the most.
Of course. I'm just saying it's a lot different though. If Caleb only throws it 30 times.
Yeah, and
which
he
I
has a
don't think-
50% target share.
yeah, that would be different than him having 6 to 7 looks, which still is enough, but it's different.
I'm saying if it was the 13 and he threw 26 times, you're like, wow, that's crazy. He targeted 50%
That
of
would
the
be
time. Yeah.
wildly more in. I would be a lot more bullish if that was the case.
Because his price has come up a lot, but they're still I mean, the fact that they clearly want to get him as involved as possible and view Colston Loveland right now as the guy. 91% of snaps in week 18, 81. He's played 80+% of snaps in 4 straight weeks. He's the guy now. There's no doubt about it. They run a lot of 12 personnel, but Komet's not getting that type of workload, not even close.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Quickly, if you had to go one cheap defense, who would it be? I have mine. Want me to tell you mine? Because yours is Denver, right?
Oh, yeah, mine's definitely Denver.
Yeah, I agree on Denver, but mine would also be Buffalo.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I'm still not fully sold on this Broncos offense. And Denver.
I'm not. I'm just worried about the defense itself.
I get it, but the Bills have been here before. And they've been in a lot of these tough situations. I could see this defense holding up. So those 2 games, that could be a shootout too. That game could also just shoot out.
What do you think could happen in that game? That's why I wanted to talk about alt lines and stuff. To me, that game is anything could happen.
Yeah, 13-10, 40-10, or 34-31.
Yeah, either that's the only game where I genuinely think I would be stunned if the Niners crushed the Seahawks. I would be stunned if the Patriots or Houston crushed each other. I'd be pretty stunned if Chicago crushed the Rams, honestly.
Same.
Yeah, it's true. Derek, that is a good point. Everyone, including me, was dragging them because I'm a big Tyler Warren fan. But maybe they did have something.
Yeah, maybe both of them are just great. Because Warren, it's hard to say after you lose Daniel
Warren's
Jones.
good for sure.
But right now, Colston Loveland looks fantastic. All right, top 3 stacks before we get out of here. You guys in chat as well, for those of you watching live. And for those of you after the fact, appreciate you hanging out too. Let us know down below where your top 3 spots are. If you're in podcast form, appreciate you listening. As always, leave a rating and a review on the pod. And if you guys could be so kind, hit us with a rating on the Tails app if you're loving it. I know a lot of you guys are over there. If you have a second throughout the day, we don't ask for much. And you're using the app and you're like, I forgot to rate this. Hop into the app store, hit us with a rating, hit us with a review. I know it sounds like it's, whatever, that stuff doesn't matter. It does. That stuff matters a lot. And it helps us, the more exposure we can get, the more we're able to create better tools and a better platform for everybody to use and to use it for free. So thanks to everyone who already has. If you haven't yet, grab that app, download the app, or if you already have the app, hit us with a rating and a review, or even just a rating. It all goes a long way. Top 3 stacks?
The Bears, the Rams. I mean, stacks?
Yeah, it's Bears, Rams, Seattle for me.
For honestly, the Broncos.
Okay.
Because if I play Josh Allen, and I'm sure I will, it's not to say I won't stack him with anybody, but I don't really think of stacks. I think if Josh Allen goes Superman and James Cook, to me, is the best chance for the Bills to win this game, not Josh Allen.
Did you see what I plugged in here? We're going to do this right before we go. Stafford, Nakua, Adams, Harvey, Loveland, Broncos, 4,500 remaining. Is there anything we can do here to make it look decent?
Yeah, we'll probably go.
I think without JSN, you have to go one of the Seattle running backs, honestly.
I honestly would put in Parkinson and I don't even care. With Stafford, he can get like 9 guys involved.
So you're saying triple it?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to throw Kenneth in too.
Yeah. And then you have Kirk.
All right. So again, you're not getting to Cook, McCaffrey, Nakua, but still a sick build.
You're getting Nakua. JSN you're not getting to.
Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. No JSN. The other one was no Nakua. I'm not saying that pricing super soft, but it does allow for you to do a lot. Man, would you go Rashid Shaheed here and just get wild with no JSN? Go Walker and Shaheed with no JSN? Or Cooper Kupp? Would you consider it?
Oh, I definitely consider it, particularly because everyone, rightfully so, if Nico sits, it's just going to be like, oh, Christian Kirk, best value on the slate.
Yep.
And yes, he's a good value. I don't think it's a given that Christian Kirk has like some big game. Honestly, like I'm not.
Dude, come on now. He had that's like 40. No, I'm sorry. That's 80 yards more than his best game this season.
Yeah, it's been few and far between. So I think he will be very, very popular relative. It's the last game of the slate. It was a showdown slate. He's the ultimate value. We saw him play. There's a lot of things working in his favor. He's going to be popular if that's the case.
Derek, how about a Josh Allen skinny stack with Cooks? That's so tough. There's just so many. It's so tough. I'd still rather go Khalil Shakir. I understand he would be the popular skinny stack, but Kincaid. Honestly, though, if I'm thinking in those terms, I'd probably rather just go naked Josh Allen. If I'm like, oh, would I rather go Terrell Shavers or Brandon Cooks instead of going Khalil Shakir? I'd probably just go naked Josh Allen.
You know what people are not going to do this week? And there's a very valid reason. Play Josh Allen and James Cook together.
Would you consider it?
Yeah, I would. It's a really tough build, and it's Tuesday, so haven't even thought about actually doing it. But with all the superstars, this is the one week. A lot of people wanted to do that last week because it was way easier to do it. I did a lot of that. No one's going to think of that here because people want to get McCaffrey, JSN, or Puka. But if you go with that as your super stack, it's a weird build, and you just have to hope that the Bills score 4 or 5 touchdowns and they account for literally all of them, which is very possible.
You're right. And Josh Allen has what? That's insane. He has 16 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean he's an absolute 16. Just monster. He's unstoppable.
You probably could go Allen and Cook. Yeah. They both have 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. And obviously, God willing, if you spike a passing touchdown to Cook, now you actually
you've hit it. Robert, I tried that last week and it didn't work. That more reason to do it. That was my whole thing on Matthew Golden when I took him for king of the end zone. I was like, the fact that he hasn't scored all year makes me just want to bet him more. Touchdowns are so random.
Yeah, it worked with Etienne and Lawrence last week in the same game. It just Cook, just didn't materialize. And I don't think the chances that it materializes here are great, but nobody's going to look to do that, I would say.
Appreciate you guys. Ben, fun show as always, man. We got 2 more of these. 2 more. And that'll be it. But we got Wednesday strategy. You got NBA tonight. Stick around for that. When does PGA start? Is it this Thursday or is it next Thursday? It starts in earnest this Thursday? Wow. Big contest?
Oh, yeah. Again, football's going on. So, people just need to keep what realistically they're going to do. Like, no, they're not running a milli maker for the Sony Open.
500K though, 100K up top, multiple 100K contests.
If you're scoffing at that, I'll be more than content if I win $100,000 in the golf streets in January.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, appreciate you guys as always. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We got content all week long right here on the channel. Come follow me, Ben, over on X. You need to fix that, by the way. You need to change it to your handle with your new computer. See that where it says Ben Rasa?
Oh, I can do that.
Change that to Jazz Raz Bets over there and on Tails, myself at Laffy on both. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.